Hello and welcome back to the Become a Developer with Zero Experience Required step-by-step tutorial. So in tutorial 0, we designed our game, we came up with a new game idea, and we logged the work items into GitHub. In the second tutorial, tutorial 1, we started working on the main app screen and the first what Godot calls scene of our application. And so we have a level select screen here. We're looking pretty bare bones right now, but again, the whole point of this tutorial, you have no experience, you have no artistic ability. We're just going to get started. We want to start laying some of the skeleton framework for our application. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be loading the game screen after we click these buttons. So we see that we've got, click our first button, loading level 1, click our second button, loading level 2. So there's a lot more work that we need to do here, but today we're going to focus on how do we load the game screen after the user selects the level. So there's this important concept in Godot called scenes, and you can see here before we made a new scene for our level button, and we're instantiating a collection of these level buttons, and this scene is being put into our main level select screen multiple times. So in the same way, we have our new game screen, and our game screen is currently blank, but that's no problem. But what our goal today is to load the game screen after we click the button. So we're going to go over some important concepts today, and that's how to load a new scene by taking an action in another scene, and also how to pass data in between these two scenes. Okay, so let's get started then. Okay, so in our level button scene, we need to communicate to the level select screen that the button has been clicked and we're ready to load a level. And so here we need to make something that's called a signal. And so we need to declare the signal here, and we'll say signal level selected. So once we've declared our signal level selected, in our onPress function, we need to emit this signal. So we can go level selected dot emit. And so this will send the level selected signal once we click the button. So now the thing is that we need to listen for the signal in the parent scene. So we know we're adding level button, we're adding instances of level button, level select button to our level select screen. So this is where we're going to add the code that listens to this signal and execute some code when it is fired. So to listen to the signal, what we need to do is take our level button to add handle. So this is called a handle. And we can say level button to add dot, and then the signal name. So level selected. And we go connect to level has been selected. So now we're going to see an error here. We're saying level has been selected has not been declared in the current scope. So this is a new function. So let's make a new function called level has been selected. And we'll keep it void for right now. We don't really need to worry about what this means at this point. And we'll say print level has been selected, going to load the game screen. And so now we see here, we can click our level buttons in the debugger, but now when we click our level button, we should also see this printed out saying the level has been selected. So let's check to see if our code's working. So now when we click level 1, we say loading level 1, level has been selected, going to load the game screen. So now we have the issue that the data of the level, what level we want to load, exists within the level button scene. But here, this function has no idea what level needs to be loaded. So there is a couple ways we could do this. What we could do is we could add a parameter to this signal and have it call from and level, and then when we emit here, we add the parameter here and add the parameter here. Print loading level. So this is one way to pass data in between two different scenes. And so we see here loading level 1, the one without the semicolon, is the one that we're loading here. Does it also work for the other instances of the button, loading level 2 and loading level 3? So this is one way to pass data in between child scenes back up to the parent scene. And then from here, I'll leave a comment. We're going to load the game screen. Now, I want to teach you a concept that's even better than emitting the data via the signal. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the parameters here from the signal, but keep that in mind for yourself if you ever do want to do this. I'm going to teach you the concept of a global. So coming up here to project and project settings and global, we're going to add a global called game state. Or sorry, that's the path over here. Add the global called game state. And here, I'm going to click here and make sure that it goes into my scripts folder. And so we're going to make a new script called game state. And it's an auto load is what this is called. And make sure that this says enabled. Now, I want to load the game state script, and we're going to write a function called set level to load, and it's going to take one parameter, the parameter of the level, and setters have void return values, and we're going to say up here, we're going to say var level to load equals 0 as a default value. And in the setter, we're going to say level to load equals to the level that we're passing. So this game state here, this game state function, is going to be available in the level button script. It's going to be available in the level select screen script and any other script that we make moving forward. The reason why I want to do this way is because once we start programming the game screen, we're going to maybe need to reference the loaded level data within the game screen. We also need to reference the loaded level data within the level button screen. And we also, in the level button scene, and we also need to reference the level data in the level select screen. So since there's multiple locations of our code that we need to reference the level that we're loading, it's easier and more efficient and is a better practice to use this global notion. And so that's what we're going to do. Okay. So to reference this game state global, there's nothing special that we have to do. So in here where we have the onPressed function of the level button, I'm going to say game state dot set level to load, and we're going to send the parameter in here. So just to make sure that everything is connected correctly, I'm going to add another print statement in here and say inside of game state setting level to level. So now when we click this button, we should see quite a bit being logged out. It looks like we do have a debugger statement. Oh, I forgot to remove this. So unrelated to what we're talking about here, let's go ahead and reload our application. Oh, sorry, that's not what I forgot. This is what I forgot to remove. I forgot to remove the parameter from the function. Okay, so now we see when we click our button, we're say inside of game state, we're setting level to 1. Level has been selected, going to load the game screen. So now that we're over here, we want to load the game screen. So now we can reference the same game state global variable, and in this case, I'm going to say get level to load. Now I could very well easily just go game state dot level to load, and this is going to give me the same value. The reason why I'll make another getter is because it makes our code more readable. And so this is going to return a string, and we'll return level to load. And just to understand setters and getters, this is one of the first things that you'll do if you do take any courses in object-oriented programming. So just to get you kind of, comfortable with some of this kind of getter and setter language, this is what a getter looks like, and this is what a setter looks like. It makes our code a lot more readable. And so over here in the level select screen, I'm going to say game state.get level to load. And I'll set that to a variable. I'll say level loading is equal to the game state.get level to load. Okay, very good. So this is one way that we can pass the data, but we also know that this game state is also available to us within the level, within the game screen scene. So within this game screen scene, let's go ahead and attach a new script to the game screen. And so we see here this parameter stub. This is called when the node enters the scene for the first time. And I'll make a new variable up here called current level. And when the node enters a scene for the first time, this means we're loading the game screen. What I can do is I can reference the game state. And I'll go ahead and set this to the current level right away. And then we'll print out a statement saying, I am inside of the game screen, loading level. Okay, so very good. So now we don't need this statement here anymore because we're referencing the game state within the game screen script. But now we need to react to clicking this button, and we need to load the game screen scene. So this is also done very elegantly with just a single line here. We can just do this. Scene to file, and go ahead and do this. So this will work, and let's just go ahead and test it out. And so now we see I am inside of the game screen loading level 2 because we clicked the second button. And we know this is empty because, well, we have our game screen here. We don't have anything in here. So that's why it's looking empty. And this is empty, but we also know that inside of the script, we're dynamically populating it with the buttons to click. So a cleaner way of doing this is to, again, up here, we want to reference, we don't need to actually export this. What we want to do here is something called preload. And here we'll say, we'll preload the game screen scene. And we'll say here instead to change scene to packed, and we'll call game scene. And let's just test again and make sure that this is working. And we can see here I'm inside of the game screen, and this time I've decided to load level 1 because that's the button, that's the level button that I clicked. Okay, so very good. Now you know how to connect multiple scenes together and how to pass data in between these two scenes. I showed you the signal method. I showed you the getTree method, and those are really the two methods that you're going to use. It just depends on your use case. If you know that you're going to be referencing the data that you're passing from that signal within multiple scenes, go ahead and use the global autoload approach. If you know that the data you're sending in that signal is only ever going to be referenced in the one parent scene, then you're fine. Just go ahead and using the signal approach. And again, that is by attaching a parameter to this scene. You can go ahead and remove that. Actually, we don't need the function annotation anymore. If there is no annotation there, the default is having no parameters. So removing that, and our app is still working correctly. So that is a fantastic tutorial for today. Thank you so much for watching. During our next tutorial, so make sure you stay tuned. Go ahead and hit subscribe to follow along with the series and all of my other projects and happenings. Okay, so for our next tutorial, we're going to teach you how to configure your game in the Google Play console. And what this enables you to do is integrate your app with Google Play Game Services. So we're talking achievements and we're talking leaderboards out of the box using a plugin. Very simple, very easy, very straightforward. I will show you step by step in the next tutorial. And 2 tutorials from now, we are going to download our application onto our Android phones. So we are getting there. You are well on your way to becoming a published developer. Hit subscribe, follow along with the series, hit like if this helped you out. Talk to you soon.